There's no better feeling than a personal win, and the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
Well, I got to head back to the my old location here, I guess. How does the mayor work with this microphone when it rolls?
He's always low down. He's always very low down.
Okay, he has to keep it down here like this and talk like
yes,
this down here.
But he's got that chair that's about 2 feet off the ground. It should be 4 feet off the ground.
Very small chair. All right.
He's in rare form already, sir.
Famously at Comiskey Park, there was disco demolition night that almost put an end to Major League Baseball as we know it. And tonight, in a bold move trying to replicate that, Mike Veeck and the Saints will have the world's largest food fight against the Sioux Falls Canaries. Did you not learn your lesson, sir?
That's the way, I like it.
Okay, now I'm sure you're going to have to make a generous donation to the food shelves to make up for the food you're going to waste tonight, right?
Oh, yeah. For every dollar that we spend on the food fight, for all of the mini donuts and the popcorn and all the mashed potatoes, well, anyhow, we're going to give to Second Harvest Heartland to make sure that the people who call in and say you're wasting food know that we're making a donation in equal amount.
I knew, you didn't wake up yesterday. I knew that you were smart enough to do that. So what do we do? What do we cover? Where does this take place, and what do we cover the field with?
Well, we cover the field with good wishes.
Much like you did with the disco record.
Send me your huddled masses.
And this will occur after the game?
After the fifth inning. Only for 90 seconds. The moment that they see Bluto on the big board, the official starter going food fight, people for the next 90 seconds are free to throw whatever they can find, except for molten lava that we use on the nachos and drinks.
Now, is this food that they have been provided or will have purchased?
It's going to be a combination of both, we're hoping.
Yeah, well, the nacho thing.
We are providing plenty.
Oh, you are providing plenty. And, how are you going to keep people from cheating and starting throwing like in the third inning and stuff?
We're going to make an announcement like Harry Carey did the night of the aforementioned disco. Please return to your standards.
How'd that work out?
Hey, I think you know how it worked out. The next morning, by a vote of 12-0, I was fired. My mother was chairwoman of that board. I said to her, "You could have made the vote 11-1." She goes, "You're an idiot."
She didn't even abstain, huh? She voted against you.
She voted against me.
She could have abstained. Yeah, well, this is in honor of the 40th anniversary of Animal House, and I want to know how your guy Murray managed not to get into one of the greatest movies of all time.
Well, you know something? The only serious thing I'll tell you is when asked the greatest actor he ever worked with, Ron Hartvickson, who was a writer from Thunder Bay, came down to Old Midway Stadium one day and said, I just want to ask Murray one question. He said, who's the greatest actor you ever worked with? And without hesitating, Patrick, he said, John Belushi.
Yes.
And afterwards, I said, why? How could that be? You work with De Niro and Hoffman and all these guys. And he said, if you did 13 takes, you gave 13 different performances because you never knew what Belushi was going to do. He said you were terrified when you hit your hash mark. He was just so quick and agile, both mentally and with his chops, I guess. So.
And a lot of people try to do physical comedy with just their face, but nobody did it like that guy.
Yeah, it was amazing, and you know, it had such an impact on so many generations. I mean, it's become one of those things, you know, the cult. Classic.
Oh, it is unbelievable. Fans will be given packs of mashed potatoes, marshmallows, popcorn, and powdered donuts. That's a very good. That's a very underrated thing to create a mess. I'll tell you right there. Fans will be given.
You can dunk them.
Yeah, fans will be given rain ponchos to protect their clothing. Now, fans who don't want to participate in this are asked to go sit in a different area. Is that
where they will have pig's blood dropped on them?
Or
we're going to squire them to the Spire home run porch where they will be escorted donut-free. We'll have a donut-free zone.
And they will be able to watch the nonsense. How has the response from the public been for this? Are you standing room only and beyond as usual?
Yeah, we're selling a lot of tickets. I think there's a lot of passive aggressiveness in our society, and so I think people are busy buying tickets for people they don't like. And saying, hey, you know, why don't you come out with me tonight? Well, you don't like me. Well, let's get over that.
Right. Here's the olive branch.
Mike Veeck is with us, owner of the Saints. Is the magic of CHS Field, the crowds about the same as they've been?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. I mean, they were averaging, I think, 82-43, and if we have a little bit of weather, this could be another record for the year. So it's just one of those things where we've just been so fortunate. We keep trying to make it fresh, and I hope we won't lose too many season ticket customers tonight.
Hey, Mike, this town has never been more competitive for sports, too. I mean, I know you guys are a little different niche. It's it's comedy to go with baseball, but man, there's a lot of ways to spend your sports bucks out there right now.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, with the United coming online and the sponsorships available at the facility, you know, the new wild practice facility and the fact that there are going to be so many high schoolers using that. I mean, it's you really can. I mean, it's they're stretching the budget, and you've got to stand out and give sponsors their money's worth. Don't
go out and look at the new Viking complex. It'll give you a heart attack, man. This is. Did you never saw the old Midway Stadium, right?
No, I did actually. The one across the street from where.
That's where they used to practice in September until the Met Stadium was empty. You should see this place. It's unbelievable. It's frightening.
Oh, it is. It is astounding the amount of money that's going into these facilities, and we got another minor league team coming online out in Hudson, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, they're building that Northwoods League. Apparently, Dick Raditz Jr.'s goal is to have like a 60-team college league in the Midwest. It's unbelievable. If you got a check, you can get in a league, baby. Hey, your league, what's it going to look like next year? You got any new teams or what?
No, I think exactly. You know, Chicago came online, actually Rosemont this year, and I think what you and I discussed and what you heard from your buddy down in Sugar Land is what's going to happen. We have meetings October 3rd and 4th, Texas. And I think that the Texas leagues are going to break off. Cleburne and the Air Hogs are going to break off and form their own.
So you'll have a nice
league.
You'll have a nice 10-team league, and everybody will be happy. Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Go back to being a bus league and not having to take that flight down and then bus across Texas. I'm all for it.
And September 1st, you are going to join in honoring former Saint Jack Morris, and he will be there, throw out a first pitch, and have a little ceremony.
Yeah, we're going to have we have a visage, a really nice portrait of him, and I mean, it's astounding when you think of the talent that came from Winfield and Molitor and Morris. But Jack, obviously one of my favorites, pitched for us in '96. We had him sold to the Yankees along with Darryl. He didn't want to report to Columbus to make 3 starts. Otherwise, he'd be the only guy in history to get 4 rings. Well, actually 5 rings with 4 different teams.
Yeah.
And they had 52,000 at the induction ceremony. I talked to Idelson the other day. He said it was just a wonderful thing. And I think nobody's more deserving. Nobody was a better money pitcher that I ever saw.
It was, Mike, though, it is a little distressing for those of us in the sports writing industry who loved him as the grouchy SOB, to see this sentimental guy out there near tears getting all these accolades. That's not the Jack we know, the guy with the sneer, man.
We were talking about who are the guys, Patrick, over the course of your career that you covered that you never wanted to walk out on the mound and say, "Give me the ball"?
That was Jack. Was probably number one. That was probably him.
I remember when Shane.
Maybe Clemens, especially if he was full of greenies or something and throwing bats at people like he did Piazza. So I don't know. He might have been tough.
I thought Shane Deist had a great line when they said, Red, what did you do when you went out to the mound to
Gibson,
take Bob Gibson out? How did you do it? And he said, carefully.
Yes. Yeah, Gibby, that was pretty good. Well, you have a good old time with the world's largest food fight today, and are there going to be clips, I'm sure, on the scoreboard all through the night from Animal House, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Of course, we want to have a little culture in the midst of all this friendly chaos.
Culture. That's right. What was the line, the greatest line ever? Fat and stupid is no way to go through life.
Fat, ugly, and stupid is no way to go through life.
Just fat and stupid is no way to go through life. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for a lot of fun times.
All right. Well, come out to the fair and see us if you're going to be in the grounds. Come out and we'll do a half hour on the grandstand.
I'd love to.
Not the grandstand.
Because I want to be fat, dumb, and ugly, so I got to come out there and get my fries and my donuts.
Okay, sir. Thanks, Mike.
Man.
All right, the great Mike Veeck, who's going to have the world's largest food fight tonight at CHS Field. And if anyone was going to do it, it would probably be the Saints, right?
They know how to do it right. And, they can do a food fight right.
I got news for them. They can tell us how many times they're going to make a donation to Second Harvest, and it ain't going to make any difference. People will be, you wasted.
You're still wasted.
Oh, you wasted.
We'll feed it to the hogs.
All right, we'll be. Greatest thing about surviving the train ride and getting to Wrigley Field last month for the series in Wrigley Field with the Twins was recalling 1983 sitting in the outfield bleachers with Mike Veeck's father, Bill, who could really drink some beer.
Oof.
As I said, he drank beer like he had a hollow leg, which he did. But he was done with the White Sox there, and he'd just go to Cubs games and sit in the sun in the afternoon. He had shorts on, he had no shirt, and the whizzer in Wrigley Field in the outfield was in center field, and people have been peeing there since 1930. I mean, it was just
it had its smell.
It's a skanky place.
Yeah.
And he'd go clomping. He'd have a beer and have to go over and like older guys have to relieve himself. And he'd go clomping away, and I'd hold the seat, and then people would say, "Come on, Bill, come on!" They'd all wave him up to the front line, and he'd relieve himself and come clomping back. What a character!
Oh my
He
gosh.
had at least 8 beers, maybe more.
He was on the guest list for the outfield bathroom.
Oh God, he was.
You get it. You have
Come
a pass.
on up.
You got a pass. Come on,
Got the express pass.
That was back in the days when I could write a sentence. I think the lead was, one leg was tan and the other was varnished. he had the wooden leg, you had the old-time wooden leg.
Yeah, the old stub.
Lost it, he was in the Navy, and he lost it a recoil from a gun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was shooting a gun, and the recoil got him in the leg. And
Wow.
They mangled the foot, and through the years, they had to keep chopping more of it off until they finally took it off even above the knees.
But it was one of those big guns mounted on the deck of a ship, right?
Yeah, he was on a ship, but I'm not sure what size.
The recoil on those things are like 4 feet, aren't they? I mean, they really kick.
Yeah, I'm not sure what got him, which gun, because I think they have different sized guns there. Yeah. But something got him. Yeah. Some
probably that
recoil gun.
Maybe the cannonball.
No. Well, yeah, I like Long John Silver. One of his greatest stunts is one year they come out for the national anthem on opening day, and they had like a fife and drum corps and Revolutionary War, and he played the peg leg guy that you always saw it on. He came out there,
rolled it up with just the leg hitting the sand.
And the other time, the greatest, my other two great stories about him are, we're at Comiskey Park, and in '77, that place was rocking and rolling. The Cubs were no good. He had brought in all these free agents who were going to leave, Oscar Gamble, Richie Zisk. They were the Southside Hitmen, they called them. And they were great. And they played the Twins, and the Twins had Carew, Heisel, and Bostock, and every game was 15-12 because their pitching stunk for both teams. In fact, the Rod Carew game out here on June 26th was 19-12 that the Twins won. But there's a fight going on in front of the press box one of these drunken days.
Right.
And Veeck goes down there to break it up, and the next thing you see that peg leg straight up in the air. Somebody grabbed him and pulled him down by his neck. And the other time is when Bob Lemon,
the owner of the team, gets
went down to break it up. Yeah, he was going to break it up, and they got woof.
Like a cartoon with a cloud, arms and legs coming in and out.
Yes.
And then the other time is he fired Bob Lemon here. You love Bob Lemon. Lemon pitched for him in Cleveland when they were great, and he was the first guy to draw 2 million people. And he had to sell the Indians because he got a divorce and he didn't have any money, so he had to give half of it to the first wife. But Lemon, he fired Lemon, came in to fire him, and then they sat in the press room and drank during the entire game. Lemon and Veeck, the guy that just fired him, while the White Sox and the Twins actually turned out to be a rainout, but the Twins waited for like 2.5 hours, and all this time these guys are down here drinking. And you come in there afterwards, we all come down to get our toddies, right, after we write our stories. Right. And Veeck and Lemon are over in a corner singing Irish songs. Hammered! I mean, hammered. It was fantastic.
Upbringing. What a time in life.
What a time for, Bill Veeck. Mike Veeck comes by his goofiness legitimately, that's for sure.
How did Veeck make his money, Bill?
Didn't have any. He owned a minor league.
Peter to pay
he
Paul.
Owned a minor league team, borrowed, you didn't pay millions for teams back then.
I suppose.
He ended up with the St. Louis Browns, who were like the stepchildren in St. Louis, and he wanted to move to Baltimore, and the other owners hated him so much they made him sell the team and to go to Baltimore. The Browns moved to Baltimore in 52 or 3 or 4 maybe, but they wouldn't let him move. They made him sell the team. So they all made him, like using the midget and stuff. They didn't like that.
Okay,
making a mockery of the grand old game.
Who was the Captain America guy or Captain? What was that guy? The guy
Ted Turner.
That blew himself up.
Oh, Captain America, yeah.
Oh, on the field.
Yeah. Captain Dynamite.
Yeah. Captain Dynamite.
Yeah.
Sitting downstairs, drinking like a maniac because it was free booze. He couldn't believe it, and blood coming out of one ear. It was a wonderful sight. That's why I love the grand old game, baseball. Captain Dynamite. Damn near killed himself.
And don't forget about Disco Demolition.
Well, yeah.
That was the biggest of all.
I asked him about that. Yeah, that was Veeck. All right, we'll be back.
Sports Talk will return right after we get a report from Mr. Bruce Vail with the Your Money Now report, courtesy of Owatonna's own Federated Insurance. A Sports Talk version. What do you got, Bruce?
Well, decent news today. Stocks were higher at the market close. The major indexes got back most of what they lost yesterday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 112 points, moving to 25,299. The NASDAQ Composite rose 51 points. The S&P 500 gained 18. Southwest Airlines says leave your boa constrictors and peacocks at home. The airline made some changes to its policies for trained service and emotional support animals. In alignment with recent government guidance, Southwest will accept only the most common service animals, dogs, cats, and miniature horses. Emotional support animals will be limited to just dogs and cats, and there's a limit of 1 per traveler. A baseball with the signatures of Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner, and 8 other greats of the game has sold for more than $600,000. The players all signed the ball on the same day in 1939 when they went into the Baseball Hall of Fame. SCP Auctions said the ball sold for more than $623,000. That crushes the previous record of $345,000 for a signed ball set in 2013. I'm Bruce Vail with Your Money Now on 1500 ESPN.
All right, thank you, sir. We're going to cut you loose and check some traffic here. Westbound 694, a good place to start. It's already troubling between Highway 65 and the Mississippi. You'll see a couple of extra minutes there. Oh, listen to this. A dock truck driver thinks he might have had a seizure northbound 35E. He was traveling between 494 and 110. Luckily, the median catch fence saved the day, caught him, and stopped him from doing a crossover crash. I believe they're still on the scene there. Watch for the responders on the left side. Our 5 Eyewitness News forecast: storms possible early this evening, then clearing in 65 overnight.
Do it. Come on, dummy.
I got something to ask Kenny, so we're not going to hit the bumper here.
Okay, what do you got?
Ask me something, Patrick.
It's a little early for my daily complaint, but here's my daily complaint.
Give it to me, baby. Give it to me right about
these 5
now.
or 6 hours investigations of what led to a crash.
Yeah.
Shutting down freeways forever.
Yeah.
You get out there, there's one car on the wrong side of the road. Give me about 20 minutes. I can tell you what happened. I don't have to measure all this crap.
Wow.
Get it moving. Get the traffic moving. The
fixer knows how to set it up.
These hours and hours. Oh, I'm going to now measure this. You know.
I'm going to measure this.
Bill in his Subaru was driving on the wrong side of the road, okay?
Open her up.
We know what happened. Tow him and let's go.
Right. What delay did you encounter that brought on this?
No, every day you're telling me about some crash that's been shut down the 494 at 11 a.m. and it's 4.
Stop measuring.
They call for recon. It's called, reconstruction.
Yeah, and then they, they're killing time. They got nothing else to do. They go out there and waste. Hurry, come on, let's move it here.
Right, you want some movement.
That's right.
Fixer wants it done.
Yes. They do that in the event of fatalities or life-altering crashes.
Yes, I know that.
But if one of your family members were involved, wouldn't you feel differently? And you didn't know? All you knew is he died on the road somehow.
Which family member? Okay. It wouldn't take 5 hours.
Here comes my bleeping cousin.
What I'm saying is it shouldn't take 5 hours no matter who they're related to, okay?
Have I ever... Never mind that, Patrick. I've got a better story. Have I ever told you about one of the first state fairs I ever worked with Royce? Mm-mm. I believe it was an RV trailer. Remember this, Patrick? They gutted the RV trailer. Mm-hmm. They put a big window in it, and they said, "There's your booth." There's about 200 degrees in that thing. We're toiling away one day out at the fair. Some guy comes up, knocks right on the glass. Knock, knock, knock. Royce looks at him and goes, "Here's my bleeping cousin." And he says to me, "Soul man, come and get me in 2 minutes, okay?" And he goes out the back. And he's talking to him. 2 minutes later, I troop out there. "Mr. Royce, it's time to go back on the air. See you later, pal."
The best ever was when we were in that small little one. Rook, were you
the
with
little
us?
fishbowl?
Were you with us when we made people pay?
Yes,
50
to see
cents,
if you were
50 cents to see if we were in there because we put the curtain down. You'd have to come and look at the side view mirror like Irby the whale. Here's Johnny Hyde.
These are going to be some epic newscasts these last couple of weeks, Johnny.
That camper trailer sat out behind our studio up in Maplewood for like 4 years. One day I offered to buy it from him. I said, I'll buy that thing for you. It'd be a fun little hunting shed.
Sweet, yeah.
$5,000. I'll pass. I'll pass.
Hey, did any of you have to camp out at the state fair like I did at the sister station a couple years ago?
No.
I got
I told them. You know how I got out of ever having that considered? I said, if you can get the mayor to do it, I'll do it.
I will do it. I am fully volunteering to do it. Yes.
The program director of that station, who still does work here, she got very mad at me when she found out I snuck in a gallon jug of Crown Royal into the station fridge.
Crown Royale.
Crown Royale.
I thought you were I thought you could tell me you snuck in somebody who worked at the Ferris wheel.
No comment.
It's humid, sunny, and 88 degrees.
Here's another. I got a hunch there's some hijinks that take place in the evening with carny workers.
Oh, yeah.
I think that'd be the best
thing.
thing.
There's a reason they keep doing it year after year.
Right.
You got an angle for the ride.
It ain't the benefits on paper they're working for.
Kenny, is that what we call lot lizards? Is that the right word?
Yeah, kind of.
Have you fellas ever seen the movie Carney? Robbie Robertson, Gary Busey.
No, I haven't.
Jodie Foster.
Oh, really?
I've heard of it, and I've assumed it's pretty bad.
It's the parts that are bad enough that it's good.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It's one of those kind of movies. Busey plays the clown, which makes the whole movie.
It's perfect.
Dogs like this through the whole thing, Come on, hit me with that. Come
Here
on.
he is, Johnny Hyde with the news.
I'll do it as
Only
Gary
5
Busey.
minutes.
How's that?
Here's Busey with the news.
Yeah, the Twins are back at it tonight after a day off.
Maybe not.
They'll play the Pittsburgh Pirates at Target Field. Jake Odorizzi goes for the Twins. Jamison Tyon for the Pirates.
We'll get the lineup at 4:30, I guess. Huh?
By the way, did you see they finalized the Chris Archer trade today? They had one more player.
Oh, really?
They also had to send their top pitching prospect, Pittsburgh did, to Tampa Bay.
And they're well stuck in fourth place.
Oh,
yeah. Former Twin, current Dodger Brian Dozier undergoing tests after being forced to leave last night's game with dizziness. He had an EKG that revealed abnormalities in cardiac rhythms. Manager Dave Roberts had that to report, wouldn't elaborate more. The Twins traded Dozier to the Dodgers in August 1st, and since then he's hitting 282 with 3 home runs and 11 RBIs in 12 games.
Yeah, we were talking to Wick yesterday. He was saying he thinks the Dodgers like him a lot, and they'll probably re-sign him. So let's hope there's nothing going on.
Is this similar to what Jansen went through?
I don't know.
Actually,
I'm not
that
a
is
cardiologist.
I think that is his problem, though, isn't it? An abnormality in his heartbeat.
That's what I thought.
It's hard to believe that's environmental. So
Well, I know what the cardiologist is going to tell him. Stop smoking, lose weight.
And stop caffeine.
Well, the only thing I can think of is, and I wrote about this a month ago for a lead on a Dozier column, was he was eating a peanut butter and banana sandwich in the clubhouse at Wrigley Field. And I said, Elvis would be proud of you. And he said, Elvis lived, where he's from, Tupelo. And that's where Dozier's from. So.
Yeah.
That's right. Same place. News notes from today. Ramsey County Elections Manager Joe Mansky said reports he's getting from election judges indicate the county will likely record its highest voter turnout for a state primary in at least 25 years. Mansky said our last really high turnout was 1994, and I believe we'll be in that ballpark. Mansky said 14,000 voters cast early or absentee ballots in the lead up to the primary, marking an 80% increase from the previous high for a state primary.
I don't believe in that either.
In what? Early voting?
Early voting.
Weren't you the guy that said vote early, vote often?
Well, on the voting day, I would vote often, but
he said reports
just in 2 places here in Elko.
Just in 2. He said reports.
I can't believe people would vote.
He said reports from polling places in the county indicated things were running smoothly.
Rookie, what was the name of that doctor that you were talking about earlier?
Is it the number of amateur ophthalmologists?
No, that wouldn't help you with the heart. The ophthalmologist wouldn't help you with the heart. But that's sad news, man. Those are
spooky.
Frontier Airlines announced today that it is bringing back its 1 cent sale to 9 destinations from Minneapolis-St. Paul, including taxes. One-way nonstop flights would be $39 to Raleigh-Durham, Austin, Texas, Cleveland, Denver, Jacksonville, Colorado Springs, Trenton, New Jersey, and Charleston.
It's like a megabus, but in the air.
These scumbags who bought that airline ruined a hell of a good airline. Frontier was a good airline.
Just by cheaping it out?
Cheap SOBs.
Yeah, and they had small planes. Beforehand, they had small planes and good routes and nice fares.
Yes, and you could. I always flew it to Denver, and sometimes you could, have a 20-minute, 30-minute change in Denver and go to San Francisco and save a lot of money. It was a good airline.
Kenny, is that the one that you referred to as that crap can takes a week to get to California?
They're stopping every 45 minutes for gas.
And again, they don't fill it up all the way.
That's how we got on that discussion of your car that had a hole in the tank about 3/4 of the way up.
I pulled into the mayor's driveway, Pat. He opens the garage door and he goes. He was on his knees within 7 seconds under my car saying, "This thing smells like gas. You got a leak somewhere." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I never fill the car up."
Dying in an inferno.
Get this thing to bleep off of my driveway.
Get it off of my driveway. Get it away from the house.
You wouldn't fill it up all the way because it would leak.
Well, don't worry. The propane tank that's got a hairline fracture inside is properly secured.
Like my Ford Fairlane when I had about $7 in the bank, and they had the lights would heat up and go off. So if you
the headlights,
the headlights, the switch would heat up and heat up, and the lights would go off.
What?
Fuel. So
heat up? What do you mean?
I don't know. That thing would get red hot.
Because he had a squirrel living in the engine that had chewed through the wiring.
That's not a thing, Pat.
You'd be driving from Prior Lake to someplace.
Oh, my God.
And you'd have to pull off to the side for 15 minutes.
To let the headlights cool down? No,
Thank God they didn't have cell phones. I'll be home in about 2 days. I've been friendly.
I don't think that's a thing, Pat.
Well, you tried it. The preference was to be home by dark.
Right. Otherwise, you'd see this flame ball going down 42.
In fact, that was part of the reason I'd stay in the twins' room and drink till dawn.
Yeah.
So that
safety.
The lights were overheating. I had the lights. It was a safety measure. Johnny, do you feel like there's something real important you got to tell us?
God, no.
Johnny, do you eat chickens?
You got a story. You got a story that really needs to be told.
No, absolutely
Okay,
not.
Rick brought up Captain Dynamite, one of my favorite all-time characters. Yep. Don Cassidy. This was back in the low-budget Twins days when Cassidy was the sales director, the corporate director, and the promotions director. Now they got 75 people with those three jobs, right?
Yeah.
But Cassidy, the Twins are struggling to draw in the mid-'70s, and he gets Captain Dynamite in there. And Captain Dynamite is a Coast Guard cook who takes his leave, and he gets because he's been doing it for 30 years, he takes his leave and goes on to every minor league ballpark in the country, drives around and blows himself up.
Jesus.
It gets in a box, a little bit of dynamite or whatever it takes, and he gets it, sets it up behind second base, and he blows himself up. Well, the night, rarely was he in a major league park. It was always Cedar Rapids and places like that.
Right.
So now this is his big chance. He's in a big league park. So
he finally made it to the show.
So Cassidy's sitting there, and Cassidy only had a cigarette like every 4 seconds. So he's sitting there behind the plate watching Captain Dynamite blow himself up. And it is, I mean, I'm sitting there expecting boop.
Right, yeah.
And it goes, whoa! And these boards, and Cassidy saying, holy, he killed himself. And he goes running out the second. He goes running out the second. Captain Dynamite stretched out. And they slapping him to wake him up. He's out there behind second. And there's a big dent behind second where he blew himself up.
And
that was one of the 5 greatest moments of my life.
Wow.
And anyway, Captain Dynamite kind of wakes up. He says, yeah, I put a little extra in it for you.
So, when he wakes up.
So, after the game,
We come downstairs, and this guy's the greatest guy ever. He can't hear too good. And his ears are all cauliflower like a fighter, a wrestler, But he's down there. He finds out they got free booze. They let him come in and drink. Free booze for a Coast Guard cook, man. He was in there. He was drinking them as fast as they would serve him. Oh, my God. And he's sitting there drinking, and there's blood trickling out of one of his ears. I said, how do you get a job like that?
So, I have a question, Mr. Royce. So you said he took out a divot behind second. Did we still have more game to play? You said
it was.
Is it a doubleheader or something?
I can't remember. It was before or after the game.
Oh my God!
I think.
Hey,
it was
buddy,
after,
replace your divot.
The lights were on. I don't know if they did it. They would have done it in the middle of the game. It had to be after the game, but then I had to write. So by the time I got downstairs,
oh my God,
he was in there drinking, just having the time of his life. But
when he wakes up,
he had to go. He did it 60 times a summer, so he had to have 40 concussions.
Oh my God! I put a little extra.
I wonder whatever became of him.
I don't know.
I wonder if he's on the Wikipedia.
I don't know, but here's worse than Sid, I think. Johnny, throw a story in.
Okay.
All right.
Police are investigating after a video shows a man spanking a hippopotamus at the Los Angeles Zoo. Video shows the man crossing a railing last week.
Royce, when I Google Captain Dynamite, the third image that comes up is you.
Why?
I don't know.
I wrote a column about him.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have a copy of it because it was my St. Paul.
Maybe that's your new podcast name, Captain Dynamite.
Wow.
He could be my first guest. Captain Dynamite, is that you?
What's that you say?
There is a video on. There's a video on YouTube of him.
Oh, what's it from? How old is it?
Doesn't say 2000. It's published 2012. I don't believe this one. No, this was from the 80s.
Yeah.
Spokane Indians game.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, video from the zoo.
They carry his box out like it's a coffin. There's 6 pallbearers that carry a box out there.
There might have been more than one, but this was 70. Something in the 70s.
I'm posting this.
There's about 20 people in the stands too. Oh my goodness.
He's wobbling around the field.
Oh my God.
He can't walk.
Oh, it's a big explosion. Jeez. Oh, he looks like he's had about 100 beers.
Oh my God. He's got the green snowmobile suit on and the helmet and the whole works.
Like 90 years old in this video.
That might be him then. It might be the right guy.
Oh, Jesus, this is funny. All right, I'm putting this up on the show page.
Sure enough,
now.
his face is bleeding, Patrick.
He gave him a little extra in Spokane.
A little extra, yeah. Put a little extra in there.
Cassidy said, I killed the SOB.
Oh, God. Well, anyway.
Anywho's.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's been a nuclear war in Korea. But,
well.
This was the wacky segment anyway.
Yes.
It shows a man spanking the hippo at the LA Zoo. The video shows the man crossing a railing, sneaking up on 2 hippos, Rosie and Mara. He smacks Rosie on the rear end, and her mother lifts her head as the man runs off and raises his arms in a gesture of victory.
I would imagine he might have had a wager.
Yeah. Zoo spokeswoman April Spurlock told the LA Times any unauthorized interaction with an animal is unsafe for the animals and potentially unsafe for the person. Spurlock says state law prohibits entering zoo enclosures. The zoo has posted a no trespassing sign on the exhibit for the first time. Police told the newspaper they're investigating, but the hippo wasn't injured, so they're not really taking it.
But the hippo didn't rage out and kill the guy.
Just looked at him and went, "Hey,
that's too bad.
How you doing?" Yeah.
I got some audio of the countdown. Here we go.
Wait, what?
Captain Dynamite countdown. Okay, in 5. Here we go.
And it's a huge explosion.
And then he's wobbling. He looks like me at my garage sale last Friday.
At Met Stadium, he was stretched out, man, like he got hit by Rocky Marciano.
From what I'm reading here, he was doing this when he was 70 years old.
Well, that's
sometime in the
him,
80s.
Yeah, that's probably him then.
Wow. Oh my gosh, you got blood everywhere.
Coast Guard.
And the kids are leaning in. Is he alive?
Coast Guard cook.
Wow.
You know, and
I got to find that column I wrote on him.
he's seen some things, Captain Dynamite.
So you guys post that on
It's on the Sports Talk page, 1500ESPN.com. Oh, my God.
We could do a podcast about that.
Captain Dynamite.
All right, Johnny, the hell with it.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Call in here. Okay.
When's the fair start, Johnny?
When's the fair start?
Anybody know when that damn thing starts?
Next Thursday, a week from this Thursday.
Minnesota is great. Pain in the Pratt starts next Thursday.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.